Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Franchise Interviews. For over 6 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship. Listen to interviews with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And now, welcome your host, Marty McDermott, and Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 6 years now, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, and I'm the president of Franchise Interviews. We have a great show today. We're meeting with Chuck Schwalbe, who's the director of marketing for Erbert and Gerberts franchise opportunity. And Erbert and Gerberts Sandwich Shop is a quick-service restaurant serving some of the best sandwiches on the planet. We're going to talk to Chuck about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews. So stick around because we got a great show.
Are you one of those special people who are willing to go after your dreams and goals? Are you ready to fulfill that dream of owning your own business with the security of a proven brand? The opportunity to take control of your future and own a Rita's Italian Ice franchise is within your reach.
Rita's is seeking success-oriented individuals who are ready to make a change in their life, and Rita's offers unparalleled training and support to assure your success. And did you know the frozen treat industry is a recession-proof industry, and there are Rita's in 23 states currently with 540 stores open. Rita's Italian Ice has been around for 25 years and is listed as a top-performing franchise by the Wall Street Journal.
Now here's the really good part. Rita's Italian Ice is a unique and amazing taste treat. It's smoother than a snow cone, and it combines ice with real fresh fruit. The real fruit adds dramatically to the taste, and it comes in over 40 flavors. The ice and fruit are mixed on site and made fresh daily, and it is delicious.
You'll want to know more about this exciting and successful franchise opportunity. Go to www.ownaritas.com and get all your questions answered. That's www.ownaritas.com to take control of your dreams and future today. You don't want to wait any longer to be a part of this adventure. www.ownaritas.com.
Are you looking for a franchise that delivers? Businesses will always need shipping, and for more than 25 years, loyal customers have depended on Unishippers for reliable savings and exceptional customer service. Unishippers is focused on just one thing: helping small and medium-sized businesses save time and money on all their shipping needs. And as the largest reseller of complete shipping services in the country, we have the buying power to ensure that we succeed. The Unishippers franchise offers low startup costs, no equipment or real estate required because they're not retail, residual income, and a quality of life and work-life balance. For more information on becoming a Unishippers franchisee, go to www.unishippers.com and click Franchise Opportunities, or call Franchise Development at 801-708-5822. That's 801-708-5822.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 6 years now, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with Chuck Schwalbe, who's the director of marketing for Erbert and Gerberts franchise opportunity. And Erbert and Gerberts Sandwich Shop is a quick-service restaurant serving some of the best sandwiches on the planet. Hey, Chuck, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Well, yes, good morning, Marty. It's good to be on the show with you.
Oh, thanks so much, Chuck. We would like to ask our guest, where are you calling from this morning, Chuck?
I'm calling from northern Minnesota, actually, right now.
Oh, nice.
We're traveling up to the northern area for a weekend vacation.
Oh, that's fantastic. How's the weather there today, Chuck?
Well, it's a little cloudy and about 70 degrees, so it's hopefully it will stay that way. We won't see any more rain. We've had enough rain up here for a while. So
I think it's coming our way now. I just looked at the weather report. They said it's going to rain for the next week here in Pennsylvania.
No.
Oh, that's
sorry.
funny.
Sorry we had to send it to you.
That's okay. You know, there's always an interesting story we find behind every franchise. We've been doing this show now 6 years, and I suspect it's the same for Erbert and Gerberts, Chuck. So I thought, maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, Erbert and Gerbert Sandwich Shops actually started in 1988 out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And Kevin and Beth Shippers are the founders of the company.
Okay.
They started the store there right on the Water Street location. And in 1988, it was the uniqueness of Erbert and Gerberts is our sandwich names.
Right.
In the history of it is that Kevin's father told his kids stories about Erbert and Gerbert Herbert. And they traveled through space and time, and every single character within the stories had something to do with education or math or story or space. You've got things like Comet Candy and Boney Billy and Gurf and Narmer, these different names of these characters that were told by these stories. And so over the course of time, when Kevin decided he wanted to be in the sandwich business, he decided that why not take these stories and turn them into sandwiches. So instead of a number one or a two or a turkey sandwich, it's a Boney Billy. Instead of a roast beef, it's a Comet Candy. So those stories are still woven within the fabric of our brand throughout the country, and the 14 original sandwiches and 14 original names of those sandwiches are still intact, as well as our other sandwiches. As we've added sandwiches, we've actually added stories for those sandwiches to match up with our history.
I love stories like that, Chuck. It certainly adds to, I think, like the culture and the personality of the franchise, doesn't it? It just makes it fascinating. That's fantastic.
And the thing is, the part, Marty, that's really interesting is that we find it's educational. Because there are stories that we are able to take into schools, hospitals, and other places where we have a story to tell, especially for entertaining children. And and there's a little bit of that educational basis, so I think that's the other part that really does work for us.
Absolutely, yeah, which is so important. I was recently at a franchise show last weekend, Chuck, and it was in New York. And it's funny, as my wife and I were walking around, you see a lot of prospective franchisees are coming up to the table, and it seems like the typical question always is, "So what do you guys do?" How do you typically respond to someone when someone asks you that question?
Well, I think the typical response is that we actually produce a terrifically flavorful sandwich, cold sandwiches with high-quality vegetables and high-quality meats, proteins, and we have proprietary soups. So what we have is what I would call is the best of all worlds, and that is a high-quality, flavorful sandwich, a proprietary, recipe-driven soup lineup. We have a dozen soups that we are actually own the recipes for. And then, of course, we have our, the sodas and the chips and the other peripheral items and treats. But really, the core of our business is very simple, and that is, it's a quality sandwich product and a really high quality soup product.
Wow, that's fantastic. These shows, I got to tell you though, they're always tough for me, especially if I haven't had breakfast. I knew this was going to be a tough one this morning. Yeah. It's just funny. What's your favorite, Chuck? I mean, do you have a favorite? Favorite
I
sandwich?
actually have a couple of them, but really I think that the one for me that gets it all done is the Flash, which has the ham and the capicola and the salami and oregano and vinegar, and it's just lettuce, tomato, and we have we've done a couple of new things over the past few years. We've added some really what I would call signature flavors, where we've added a peppermint mustard which most people don't know what a peppadew mustard is. It's a South African pepper that really has a unique flavor to it. We've added a pesto mayo, and what we've done is we've taken the ordinary sandwich and plussed it up and given it more flavor. And our little tagline, I guess, or our umbrella for our brand, as we call ourselves Flavor Nation, because that's where you can find the best flavors in the world. And so, I look at it as being able to deliver a quality, freshly baked bread, which we bake every day in our ovens in the stores. We slice all our own meat, cheeses in the store, and that in itself just brings a unique flavor to everything that we do. We also have added one thing that I don't believe anybody else in the industry has added. We have a French white bread, and then we also or sub roll, and then we have a honey wheat. But we also added on last year in December. We added a gluten-free roll to our menu, and so what we looked at is what are the needs of the people that we're serving right now? What are the guests asking for? And one of the things that we spurred was that the gluten-free is an option that most people don't have. We did the research. We partnered with Udi's Breads out of Denver, and put together a program which we have had so much. I can't tell you the number of people that have come back to us saying it's the first time they've had a sandwich in years, and they're so appreciative of that. But I believe we're the only sandwich shop out there that's introduced that gluten-free, and it's been a very, very nice, had a positive effect on our business.
That's fantastic. We're speaking with Chuck Schwalbe, the Director of Marketing for the Erbert and Gerberts franchise opportunity. And one of the questions we've been asking recently on the show, Chuck, is how has technology, or how do you guys use technology? Has it played a big part of the business? I guess it's changed, right, since 1988 when you guys just started to where you are today.
Yeah, technology has taken. We do a lot more with technology right now. Everything from our POS systems to our social media to the effect of what I might say social media effect in doing other things. We email marketing is part of our program, text marketing. We also run a campaign that I like to call, it's basically a catering campaign. And the catering campaign is designed to really let people know that we have catering available. And with catering available, it's great to always have a message out there. And so we've used an email marketing tool to actually go out and tap our business community on the shoulder once a week and say, hey, if you're doing catering this week, we've got a great opportunity for you, either our box lunches, which we do, which includes a cookie and a chip and a pickle, or we've got platters, sandwich platters that are available, as well as salads. And so it's an opportunity for us to tap people on the shoulder electronically, and they can either open the email and say, wow, great, we'll order something, or they can say, nope, not interested, and move on. So it's
right. The technology is fascinating. It is. It truly is fascinating. And it's, it's one of the things they're getting too, Chuck, is, they're getting, someone like yourself, who understands and appreciates, the, social media and things like that. A lot of times when people are, they want to do something like this on their own, a lot of times they just don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? So certainly one of the many advantages of getting into franchise, I imagine, right? Is having that marketing expertise among a lot of other things with a strong brand and strong product and all that other stuff. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think that, Marty, one of the other things that's very important is that with our systems that we've put in place, keeping it simple and also keeping the quality, consistently having the highest quality products and the highest quality people to service, the guest is a very important piece of that puzzle. And I think right now, we have systems in place, a fantastic group of people with a tremendous amount of experience. I think the last time we looked at the experience level of our executive teams and the people that are in our corporate office, it was in the restaurant industry. It was about over 140 years, I believe, of experience. And bringing that experience to the table for a entrepreneur or someone in a multi-unit situation that's looking for a franchise opportunity is a really big plus, because they're not coming into something that they're going to have to try and figure out for themselves. many of the systems, all of the systems are in place, the marketing, the operations, the training, everything is in place. The real estate portion, which is very important. Right now we have multiple real estate opportunities around the country in markets that we're looking at. The thing that we haven't been able to find enough of, which is unfortunate, is franchisees that are ready to go. We'd love to be able to open more and more stores, and we are going to open 20 stores this year. But there are opportunities that we have been searching for, and we really are looking for quality franchise people that could come into our business and our brand, and have their own business, but have all the support systems that are available to be successful right out of the gate.
That's great. What kind of real estate or location do you look for, Chuck? I mean, what is, I hate to use the word ideal location, but, what do you typically look for in a location? How much space is required?
Well, we look like, it depends upon, about 900 to 1,200 square feet is about perfect. And it depends upon different markets. We have different positions in different markets. More of a college market, we have college locations that are by campuses. We have suburban locations that might even be inline in a mall. We have central business district or downtown locations, which are a little bit different formula. We have some skyway locations. And right now our focus has been on end cap drive-through opportunities. We've opened eight end cap drive-through locations in the last 6 months, and we are finding that those are very successful for the franchisee. And but all of those potential locations are in the mix of our business right now, and we know that how to make those successful in each one of those cases.
That's great. So, you were talking a little bit about the franchisees earlier, Chuck. I mean, what does Erbert and Gerberts look for in their franchisees? It sounds like you don't necessarily have to have restaurant experience to get into something like this.
No, I would say that the restaurant experience would be a plus, but I don't believe a restaurant experience is a necessary piece of the business right now because of our training ability. And I think it's someone that's looking to own something, be their own boss, so to speak, but at the same time have the support of a fantastic brand of Erbert and Gerberts behind them. And that in itself is a real plus. Although, if you do have restaurant experience, we're not going to shy away from it. And the other area that we have a pretty big focus on right now is, and the reason we have a focus on it is because we've had great success, is multi-unit franchisees, people that already are in the franchising business. We've got partners in the Fargo area and in the Michigan area that are already in the franchise business, and they have looked at Erbert and Gerbert's sandwich shops as an opportunity for them to expand their portfolio. And the brand has come into their portfolio and done a great job, and they are now building. One group is building their sixth Erbert and Gerbert, and the other group will be building their second one this year, and they are looking at building 8 more over the course of the next couple of years. So that's great. Like I said, and as a matter of fact, we have a new franchisee that started last year who was a former auto mechanic who wanted to get out of the auto mechanic business and had some knowledge of the restaurant industry, but he was looking for a franchise he felt he could work with. And it's different, obviously. There's a lot more to it. But he's done a great job of adapting and understanding the process of serving the guests, and the brand program that we have helps to get him to that point of being a successful business person.
It must be an interesting experience for him, too, as well, Chuck. Where in the past, being in the automotive industry where, a lot of times you tell someone it's going to cost, $2,000, $3,000 to have their transmission fixed versus serving them a nice sub sandwich, you know what I mean? Where you have to kind of put a smile on their face.
Yeah, and Marty, we have that conversation because it's kind of like putting the parts together and serving something to someone. And
that's true.
You put the parts together, serve it to someone. So it's a little different program, but I think that's why, the ability to take people that may or may not have restaurant experience, it really speaks to the professionals in our operations and training, and the simplicity of a system where we serve cold sandwiches and hot soup. And I think that in itself helps us to be a brand that people can look at to say, this is something I can do.
That's fantastic. You were talking a little bit about the training, Chuck. I mean, how does that work? I mean, once, you like them, they like you. I mean, do they typically come out to headquarters after that once they decide to go forward?
Yeah, we do a discovery day prior to any, process of signing up or anything. And that kind of gives everybody involved the opportunity to see both sides, either the potential franchisee to see the company, the corporation, and meet with all the executives, as well as our executive team and everybody involved really in the corporation to touch base with them. Once they've gone through that process and really fulfilled all the obligations, signed the papers, so to speak, and gotten themselves started, we have a 4-week training program that starts in our Maple Grove, Minnesota corporate office. And they basically go through how to run a restaurant from soup to nuts, everything involved. And it is a very extensive program because we want to teach you everything from why the sandwiches are named what they're named, why the stories are the stories that they are, and who they are and where they came from, as well as how to bake the bread. How to slice, how to deal with the guests, how to run the POS system, all the other, and you talked about technology, and there's a lot more to it than just building the sandwiches. There's a lot of other pieces that a owner or potential franchisee needs to know, and so those 4 weeks are critical training opportunities for them.
That's great. For someone who doesn't have experience in this particular type of business, Chuck, I mean, is there a typical day, so you can say, for a franchisee?
A typical day?
Yeah.
I would say a typical day starts at 7 a.m. and you're, baking bread and doing prep and setting the restaurant for the day. You've got probably an additional person coming in at somewhere between 8:30 and 9. You're prepping for the day, baking bread, cooking off, slicing, prepping, getting the make table ready, soup, getting the soup ready, and then going through a checklist of everything that you would do, including your employees. We do delivery, therefore you'd have delivery drivers that would be coming in. And typically the day starts mostly with the prep process of getting everything ready to go. Yeah. And then between 10 and 10:30, somewhere in there, we have stores that open at 10, some that open at 10:30. Then at that time, you basically open the doors. You'd be serving guests all day. Typically, a store would run from 10:30 to 9 p.m. Your lunch rush is obviously your greatest, but at the same time, catering orders would be coming in the previous day because they're timed, so you'd have those to prep before those are served that lunch period. We also have many stores that have an online capability, so they have online orders that would come in, and those are timed and specific to being prepped and ready at the same time. And, keeping drivers busy on delivery. So you have a delivery schedule that you want to read because we're trying to get those sandwiches and soups and chips and snacks to the guests within a particular amount of time. And basically that's the day. You would go through until close doing basically the same thing. You are consistently baking bread, though, all day because we bake bread. We basically try to hold our bread no longer than about 4 hours. Okay. Because we want it to be the freshest possible bread you can get. And we have, I can't count the number of comments that we have from our guests on the freshness and the flavor of our bread. And the reason is because we do spend a lot of time making sure that the bread, which is a delivery point of our sandwich, is done correctly. And Marty, one other thing I kind of just I slid over before, but we do one other thing a little differently than the rest of the industry, and that is that we slice and then we gut our bread so that you have a cavity for the product to be put in, so it's a little more portable. But we also, because we serve a lot of soup, because of the quality of our soup, we also have the gut, I guess you would say, that comes from the bread.
Right.
We literally hand that. We don't hand that, but we wrap that with the sandwich, so that the guest actually gets the guts of the bread at the same
That's
time
clever.
they get it. Well, and it's unique because, as I always say, people throw it away. We give it to you because it's still a quality piece of the bread. It's soft.
Sure, absolutely.
It's delicious, and dipping it in soup, or as some people I know do, they just tear it off and start eating it because it's just that kind of that preamble to getting to the sandwich. So a little different process for the franchisee. So something different.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. It adds the character and personality of the franchise too, doesn't it, Chuck? I think that's very clever.
Right, and that's what we say is in Flavor Nation we're a little quirky, and we like to keep it that way. That is our heritage and our history, where we've got names of sandwiches and uniqueness to it. We want to keep that that quirkiness. It's just that it's not for everybody, but we think the sandwiches are for everybody because I would say they're the most flavorful sandwiches you can buy. And that in itself just brings me back to, the fresh bread, the fresh ingredients, the quality products that we use, and the fact that we are, portable and kind of flavor profile driven in our sandwiches. They're all unique to a particular flavor profile for every customer.
The online technology is interesting, too, isn't it, Chuck? I mean, whoever imagined, if you said 15 years ago, that people would be ordering their subs or sandwiches over the Internet. I don't know. It still fascinates me to this day. I don't know why, but it is amazing.
Marty, it is a unique opportunity for a guest to sit at their computer in the cubicle and say, I'm hungry, I need something to eat. I'm going to tap this mouse, I'm going to click in here, and in minutes, less than minutes, have ordered their lunch and know exactly when it's going to show up.
That's amazing.
And it is an amazing technology, and I think it's getting even better and better. Right now we are looking at that, but we also have the ability to do text messages.
Wow.
Text them right to your phone, to your smartphone, and I think the statistic I saw the other day was that 56% of all phones right now in the U.S. are Android, iPhone, smartphone programs. So, we're getting to a point where the technology, as you said earlier, the technology is catching up to the fact that everybody will have a little black, white, or whatever box in their hand that will allow them to get a message from a restaurant, send a message to a friend or person about a restaurant, and place an order to a restaurant. And all of those technologies are in place for us. The online is really the critical piece right now. But as we move, we also have an application for the smartphones so that you can actually go online with Erbert and Gerberts.com and go to our online if you have a smartphone and you want to order, and you can literally press the button, and it's in the smaller scale, obviously, so you can read it and place an order through your phone.
That's fantastic. So what's in the future? What are Erbert and Gerbert's plans for the future, Chuck? I mean, maybe 3 to 5 years down the road.
Well, we right now we have approximately 63 locations, and we are looking to have 200 locations by 2017. 200 locations. We're looking at continuing to do the expansion that we're doing. Like I said, we have many sites that we have kind of earmarked and locations. We've been fairly strong as a Midwestern, Minnesota, North and South Dakota, Wisconsin formula, and right now Michigan, Georgia, Texas, Oregon, and Iowa are all areas where we are expanding. And I think the future is that we're going to continue to expand our business into a larger footprint. We're going to continue to grow Flavor Nation and bring different flavors, unique flavors to our guests. And I think right now the biggest thing is to find people that are interested in going along this journey with us and expanding their opportunities to be a franchisee and to own what I would say is a fairly simple restaurant concept that has quality sandwiches and quality proprietary soups. And I might even throw out that in a couple of weeks we'll be actually introducing a brand new proprietary chip that will be branded Erbert and Gerberts, which are not just another chip company throwing chips in a bag. We actually went through and selected all of our flavors individually. So they are proprietary to us. So in the future, we will continue to do things that will fit into Flavor Nation. We'll continue to reach our guests with a quality product. And I would say continue to expand across the country.
That's fantastic. What's the best way for our listeners to get more information on becoming a franchisee, Chuck? Any websites they should go to? Any numbers they should call?
Yeah, I would just go to erbertandgerberts.com, and we're on Facebook and Twitter. But if you go to erbertandgerberts.com, you're going to be able to find out everything about a restaurant, as well as you will be able to fill out an application through our website.
That's great. And you made me very hungry, and I'm looking forward to you guys coming to Easton, Pennsylvania, by the way. So.
Well, and we are too.
Absolutely. And, I'd really like to invite you back next year, Chuck, as you continue to grow. I'm going to keep my eye on you guys, and I'd love to have you back next year.
Well, I look forward to it, Marty. Thank you very much for the interview and the time. We really appreciate it and look forward to serving everybody around the country, Erbert and Gerberts, in the next few years.
Thanks so much, Chuck. You have a great day, and we'll be right back with more franchise interviews.
Franchise Interviews. For over 6 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And don't forget to listen to our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Who's helping build America one small business at a time? Franchise Inc., a free consulting service.
For years, Franchise Inc., a national company, has been helping people franchise their business concept and help folks like you own a franchise.
With over 2,500 franchise systems out there, it can be awfully confusing. Don't take chances with your future. At Franchise Inc., we've done the homework for you. We can help match your interest and background with the franchise that's right for you. And we only work with proven franchise systems with a solid reputation and track record of success.
The consultants at Franchise Inc. can help you with your short and long-term wealth strategy.
Give us a call today and we'll send you free our best-selling book, Solving the Puzzle of Owning a Franchise.
Remember, it's not just owning a franchise, but finding the right one for you. Call us at 800-961-0420 for a quick consultation to discuss what's important to you, your business, and your future.
The service is free. The book is free. What do you have to lose? Find the business that's right for you.
Call Franchise Inc. at 800-961-0420. That's Franchise Inc. at 800-961-0420.
Hi, everyone. This is Marty McDermott from Franchise Interviews, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, where each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. Don and I have been hosting Franchise Interviews now for almost 2 years, with 100 shows under our belt, and during that time frame, we've had some incredible guests and some incredible quotes on the show. Today, you're going to get to hear from the Chief Executive Officer of the Rita's Franchise Opportunity, and take a listen to what Jim says about trust, respect, and belief. And for the very first time with our partnership with Blog Talk Radio, Franchise Interviews is now allowing some unique sponsorship opportunities to franchisors to help you reach a large audience of prospective franchisees. So enjoy. Here's a message from our sponsor, and we'll see you again soon with another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising.
Franchise Interviews. For over 2 years now, Franchise Interviews has been giving you an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship.
Through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising.
And our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisors, franchisees, franchise authors, experts, and attorneys.
And our free franchise newsletter, which is a must-read for anyone looking to buy a franchise.
And don't forget to listen to our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919.
That's 610-905-2919.
For our partners, what is it that we're looking for? So separate from the commitment and the passion and the integrity and wanting to work hard, you need to do something else for that franchisor. And so whether it's Rita's or it's, I heard you talk about the other concepts that you have coming on, you need to do three things with that franchisor, because a franchisor does it with you. It's about trusting that franchisor, respecting the franchisor, and believing in the franchisor. Trust, respect, and believe. Because if you're going to become a franchisee, as my father used to say, we paid this fee and we pay a royalty of every dollar. It's our responsibility to be able to believe in these guys and respect them and trust them. And it's difficult over the years, 20 years with Wendy's, 19 years. I'll be very honest. There was many ups and there were many downs. But there was never a point that we never believed in the concept and we didn't respect the guys. That was very important. So what I try and express and preach to our partners, because we do it internally, and I want them to feel the same, is to trust us, believe in us, and respect us. And if you do that, then we're going to be successful together. Because if you go back to the beginning, it's why you bought the concept. And not everybody should be a franchisee, but if you take that route and you make the commitment of a franchisee, then do as the company suggests and recommends. Because go back to why you made the decision to become a franchisee, and the headlines, to trust them, respect them, and believe in them, because they do with you.
And I think you're not going to have a problem getting that with future franchisees and, of course, your stores now, because of your so many years as being a franchisee. You're thinking just like them. You know what they want and think and everything. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I wish, I got to be honest, I wish it was that simple. It isn't. Can I mention something else that I've really been working on, talking about, articulating a lot? And we branded it the 5 C's, which I think is important. Not that I think, I believe is important for this concept to be successful and to have many, many more years. We're celebrating, which is pretty historical. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary next year, which is, I remember I was with Wendy's when they did their 25th. It's a big deal. There's very few that celebrate 25 years. But anyway, we branded it at the 5 C's, and I won't go through them, but I'll just quickly give you the words. The first one is the commitment to the RETA system, and they're all self-explanatory, but that's number one.
Right.
Number 2 is the consistency, and I really drive that from the consistency from the store operations first, but then everything that we do as a franchisor and a franchisee, we need to be consistent, because we all of us, everybody wants to do the right thing, and we all want to be good. And if we have this concept of being consistent and doing it every day, we got a better chance. The third is communication. And to me, we never get, as I say, I'm not an expert. We are constantly thinking about how to improve the communication. It is our lifeblood. It's our conduit. This is a partnership. And communication is the key to any relationship. Husband and wife, siblings, whatever. It's communication. 4 is the R&D, research and development. I can go through the products that we introduced this year. We introduced one last year, and we're going to introduce more next year, is because we as customers, guests, want to have more of a variety of products. And then the last one, and probably the most important, and this is a major one, and I call it embracing change, because the world is changing quick, but it's more than change. We need, as individuals, to embrace it. We need to embrace it and be a part of it and be in support of it, because change is difficult. I guess I've gone through it. I have many experiences of being difficult with change. I'm at the opposite extreme. I look for change. I want change. I promote change, because if we're not changing, then we're going to be left behind. This world, the business world, the franchise world, the guests are changing so fast. We need to be changing with them. And it's so difficult to be embracing it. So
I think that's, great points, Jim. The change is part of life, and, even some of your, most well-known concepts, the McDonald's and so forth, always have to be going through changes and adapting and so forth. So that's a good point to have that attitude. You're like the professor, Jim. I'm here, writing frantically, taking notes. You're doing a great job here.
Thank you. That's not my intent, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Talk a little about, Jim, just about the history of readings. People love.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you again next week with another edition of Franchise Interview. Take care, everyone.